What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, that means you're new. I'm Mark. What's good with y'all? Go check out my other videos. Check them out. Check them out. But first, stay on this one. This is something that, I've been talking about with some people a lot, and it's been a little controversial a little bit, in my opinion. So I'm going to get into it. You read the title. You saw the thumbnail. Let's go. So these are my opinions on shooting competitions, right? So I got into an argument where someone basically stated that shooting competitions are entirely useless almost. Now, and I had to, I disagreed. I told him, I'm like, look, you're in the wrong. I can explain it to you, and they're useful in several ways. But I can see the aspect of where someone sees it like, oh yeah, well, I don't need to do it. Like, so allow me to explain, right? So let's start with the straight down to it facts, right? Do you need to participate in shooting competitions in order to be effective for self-defense or anything along those lines? No. Do you need to participate in shooting competitions or anything along those lines as a whole? No. It's nothing like that at all. And keep in mind, I'm speaking as somebody who has never participated in any form of shooting competition other than, at the range, just, oh, hey, I bet you I can hit this shot. Bam. Stuff like that. But what I can say, as somebody who has never participated in any shooting competitions, is that they may seem useless. They may seem very extra, but there's certain pros to it, if you will. You don't have to do it by any standard. No one's making you do it. It's nothing like that. No one's going to say that you won't be able to defend yourself properly if you don't partake in shooting competitions or anything along those lines. You know what I mean? And honestly, I don't even think you have to participate to, just be an overall good defender of your home or anything like that, right? So there are pros, though, that most people don't like to go over, right? So let's say, you're in a situation where you have to defend your life, your home, the life of a loved one. Something that most people don't like to think about it as is that, hey, I want to win this shit. You know what I mean? Some people, they like to, pussyfoot around it. They want to sit there and, be nice about it. No, you need to think about it like this. I want to win this fight. I want to win by every standard. The pressure is there. The stakes are high. It is my life on the line. You know what I mean? That's the type of pressure. That's what needs to be going through your mind. You know what I mean? So that being the case, something that shooting competitions can help instill in you, and is something I have seen, is that capability to work under pressure with your firearm. It can be very helpful in that situation. Now, I see, some people where they're sitting there, they're being extra. They'll pull their gun to the side when they're at like an indoor range, act like they're scanning for other fucking targets. And it's like, bro, you look stupid. We know you're not doing that. All right, calm down. You know what I mean? There's certain situations where you can tell someone's just taken the fact that they've either, been in a shooting competition too far. You can see situations where it's, you know what I mean? It's one of those very controversial situations because some people, they like to stamp their foot where they're at, and they don't want to change their mind. You know what I mean? They can be useful. As I said, that pressure being on you to perform in a certain time limit is something that not a lot of people who, if any, actually, who you are trying to defend your life from will have. That is an edge that you can have, which will mean the world. You know what I mean? Like, let's be 100% honest here. If you can put 5-6 shots in target in, I don't know, 6 seconds flat. This is from you opening let's say, your bedroom door to the front door, right? 6 seconds flat, you can put 5-6 rounds in that target and, eliminate the threat. You did it all under pressure, going from one room to another, all under pressure. You see what I mean? It can be helpful. And I may not be explaining this the best. As I said, I have never participated in any form of shooting competition. However, I have sat there and, challenged myself. Okay, let's get a timer going. Okay, how long, you know what I mean? There's certain aspects to it that are very, very, very useful. Now, some people, they may try to look at it as, oh yeah, well, that's just you challenging yourself and you practicing and training when you're at the range. Yeah, that's true. It is essentially the same, same aspect. The only difference is that in a competition shooting, you're doing it against other people. So the only thing that's making it different, in my opinion, is just have someone else there with you to, try to compare your score against. That's really it. You know what I mean? Other than that, competition shooting isn't really that big of a deal. It's something that definitely needs to be done because it is something that can give you such a higher level of edge than the majority of the people who you will need to use your gun on, have. That is true. There's no doubt about it. However, it's not something you need to have to be effective with your firearm. It's not something you need to, participate in or you need to do. No one's saying that in any way, shape, or form because that's just stupid. You know what I mean? Like, and it's kind of the same argument that I make with people where it's like, oh yeah, well, you do need to train. I always say it's a good thing to train. Do I think you 100% need to train to be efficient with your firearms? No. Do I still think that you should train? Yes, 100%. You know what I mean? I'm actually going to get into that topic in another video. I won't even want to spoil that. But as I was saying, let's get back onto the shooting competitions. It gives you that extra, that extra edge, with your training. You know what I mean? If you're sitting here preparing for a competition on, okay, yep, I have to hit these smaller targets that are, some are 10 yards away, some are 15, some are 25, some are 40, whatever. You know what I mean? You guys get my whole point. You're having to do it under pressure. You're having to do it faster than the average person would ever do it, or even the average criminal. So it does give you an edge that a lot of people don't like to think about. And this is something that I hadn't put much thought into really until actually like 2 weeks before I had gotten into this argument, as I said. So it's something that I've had to put my thought into, and it can be very helpful, as I said. That's the best way to put it without having to, run you through the whole circle and, beat around the bush with it. It can be extremely helpful. It can give you an advantage that a lot of people, decide not to take. They're a little too lazy to take, if you will. However, I don't blame them because I haven't participated in a shooting competition. I'm a bit too lazy to go and do that. I train, I practice, but a shooting competition is a whole other thing. Now, one of the things I can say I don't like about shooting competitions as a whole is that you kind of need a competition gun. You know what I mean? I think that kind of ruins the whole aspect of it, in my opinion. And here's why. So when somebody, for example, will say my Glock 23, right? In no way, shape, or form should be a competition gun. However, some people, they'll take their Glocks, right? They'll take their Glock, they'll, make some cuts into the slide, they'll get a lighter trigger, flare magwell, things along those lines. They'll have a red dot on there, things like that, just to have their, their Glock be a competition gun. And, competition guns are cool and all, but they're not practical for self-defense. And that's the thing is, as I said, I don't participate really in competitions. It's something that I probably will look into. Jesus, I can English. It's something I'll probably look into getting into, right? However, it's not something that I'm getting into this very second. So, excuse me. But as I said, I'm not getting into them this very second. So with that being said, owning a competition gun as a whole is a stupid idea. If you're going for self-defense, that's something that you really need to go for and try to practice with. And that's where, competitions kind of cripple people whose main objective of doing something like that is to make sure that you can react properly under pressure in a self-defense situation. And here's why is that, well, on top of, the slide cuts, making the slide lighter so that way it can cycle faster, which you won't have on your defensive gun if you're smart at least. On top of the lighter trigger, all right, on top of the flared magwell, you got a lot of you know what I mean. There's a lot of things here that are making that's making you in a sense be screwed over because of the fact that you prepared and trained for competition with a competition gun. You know what I mean? A self-defense gun and a competition gun are two entirely different things. And here's where, another thing that is actually one of the reasons that, I started thinking about this is I saw a video of Massad Ayoob talking about, competitions, and he made a great point here, which is where this kind of led me to all down to this, right? Is that, you know what I mean? And this, as I said, you'll see why this boils down to what I was just saying about even the guns that you use for competition shooting versus self-defense. not every competition is a self-defense situation, but in all reality, every self-defense situation is a competition. Now, of course, I'm paraphrasing. I'm not saying it exactly how he said it. However, that is 100% facts. The truth of the matter is that every self-defense situation is a competition because we're trying to see who's going to win for life at this point. We're trying to see who wins to avoid being, fuck it. I've been sitting here thinking about it. I was like, you know what? Some people have been threatening to report my channel just because they want to get petty, but I really don't care. You know what I mean? They'll do anything. If you don't want to get killed, it is a competition for life. That is what it is. So yes, not every competition is a life or death situation, but every life or death situation is a competition and should be looked at as such. That's why participating in shooting competitions can be very helpful. It's just due to the simple fact that it allows you to, react under pressure. It allows you to react under pressure with a quick timing. You know what I mean? Those aspects can be very useful, but to go ahead and Gucci out all your guns strictly for competition, things like that, that's definitely going overboard with it, in my opinion. People make that argument and it seems very stupid to me because they're like, oh yeah, well, look at this, this is my competition Glock. It has a 1.5 pound trigger. Bro, I don't give a shit. You know why? Because that bitch is gonna malfunction on you. Something's gonna happen and it's gonna fuck up because you're fucking with too much of the shit. Here's the reason why it makes people look dumb. All right. And there are some competition guns that are entirely reliable. Of course, there are some guns that are factory made simply as competition guns and they are reliable. But there's too much, allow me to explain. So there's a wider chance, I guess you could say, or a bigger chance, for malfunction due to several, variables that you wouldn't have to deal with. We'll take, my Glock 23. This is a standard Gen 3. There's no, there's been no cuts, no extra serrations on it, no nothing, right? Nothing that has been added on to it. I can throw this in a pile of dirt, pick it up, I know it'll work. If I take a competition gun, one that has cuts all around the slides, things like that, throw it in the dirt, I bet you money there's going to be a malfunction, all because of the fact that all the dirt, debris, dust, all of that shit can get into the internals of the gun. So, I mean, I feel like I'm kind of going off topic here, but I think y'all get where I'm going with this, is that competitions are dope. They can be very useful. They can teach you a lot of skills that would be insanely helpful in self-defense. However, it's not the only thing you need. You know what I mean? It's not something that you 100% need. And it's, if you don't have it, you're not going to be able to defend your life. But it can definitely be 100% helpful. So, I mean, I think the best way to put it here, look, here's a way to put it, right? And I'm sure some people are going to have problems with, this comparison, but I think this is an okay comparison. Shooting competitions are the, are the holster claws of the 2A world. And here's why, right? You don't need a holster claw to conceal carry. You need a holster. You know what I mean? You really don't need a claw. Just like you don't need, to participate in shooting competitions to be effective in a self-defense situation and protecting yourself or others that you care about, things like that, right? However, it can be super fucking helpful. It can be insanely helpful. So with that being said, if you agree with me, y'all go ahead and make sure to check. Oh shit, hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. I almost forgot. Y'all make sure to like, I hit my phone. Y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, hit all. And because you agree with me, there we are. Because you agree with me, check out all my other videos. Y'all make sure to stay legal, stay safe, stay dangerous. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.